Dude, no way. Judge rejects Amber Heard's demands for dismissal. Oh my God, she's screwed. She's screwed and she knows it. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Oh my God, it's hilarious.
Thank you. Your motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. I can only assume that Mr. Chu wrote that speech for an audience outside the court because it didn't really address my arguments. I'm going to focus on what our specific arguments are for the motion to strike, Your Honor. Mr. Chu spent almost 30 minutes of the court's time talking about the disputed evidence of physical abuse in this case, which Ms. Heard hasn't even put on her case, and I can tell you she's not the abuser, and if the case moves forward,
This is Fox News, though? Yeah, Fox News sucks. I don't really care. It just... there's no one talking. It's just the actual coverage.
Her witnesses will put on even more evidence of the physical abuse she suffered at the hands of Mr. Depp. But that's not the basis for our motion right now, Your Honor. He talks about how Mr. Depp had a sworn denial and that should count. We read his testimony. He claims he didn't strike her. But again, that's not the basis for our motion. The basis for our motion is the clear and undisputed evidence of non-physical abuse. By his definitions, by his standards, by the standards of his expert, there is no dispute that Mr. Depp
I'm watching the dismiss.
And therefore, if he did it even one time, there's no dispute that even under their theory of the case, the implication that they want the jury to draw from the article, which again, I'm not arguing for the purposes of today, because under the legal standard, I'm not going to argue that. I'm not going to waste the court's time with that. But even under their standard, the undisputed evidence is that Mr. Depp did commit abuse against Ms. Heard, and therefore that those first...
When? Chat, can someone send me a clip where he actually did emotional abuse? Everyone says there's like instances when there was emotional abuse. When? I want to know because I have not seen it yet. I would like to see it.
First two statements were false. That's our argument on that. As to the headline,
sources trust me, bro.
Mr. Chu, we played 2 or 3 hours of an ACLU deposition. Now he says, well, that wasn't our witness. It was his witness, Your Honor. He just spent 10 minutes talking about what Mr. Doherty said, and Mr. Doherty testified that the Washington Post wrote the headline. That is the only evidence, Your Honor. I understand he says, well, Exhibit 1 has her name on it. Exhibit 1 has her name on it. But the only evidence in this case about who wrote that headline is Mr. Doherty's testimony.
Objection. Hearsay.
They could have put anyone else on it. They could have called Ms. Heard for that because that was not part of the stipulation at the pretrial conference. It was only the tweet that we talked about, Your Honor, and they chose not to do that.
The tweet.
Ms. Heard will testify she didn't write that headline, so it wouldn't have helped.
Oh, my eye.
But they've had 3 weeks to put on their case, Your Honor. They've controlled the playing field of evidence. There is no dispute that Ms. Heard did not write that headline. No dispute. Simply saying, well, her name is attached to it, that can't overcome the testimony of the ACLU.
He's sus, Your Honor, I swear.
Of course, Mr. Depp chose
hey, she's innocent, so just close out the case. I love that that's what they're going for. It's like this little bit of stuff. What the fuck? I'm broken. Okay. I'm broken. Look back at my memories. This is my OneDrive memories, chat. This is my OneDrive memories right here. Oh, takes me back. But so they're taking that little ounce of the fact that she didn't write the article title or something like that, which I'm still confused. To be fair, I don't know about that at all, so I can't really say anything about that. But all they're doing is just trying to dismiss the trial so they don't just make her look even worse than she already does.
But the testimony of Terrence Doherty that she didn't write that headline, that takes care of the sexual violence headline, Your Honor. And I'm not going to take up any more of the court's time addressing portions of Mr. Chu's argument that don't go to our motion, unless Your Honor has any specific questions. But I want to be respectful.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, For this motion, I've taken the arguments of counsel, and last night I reviewed all of the evidence that has been submitted in this matter. So as to the second and third alleged defamatory statements, the motion to strike at this juncture, I view the evidence in the light most favorable to the plaintiff and reasonable inferences from the evidence to the plaintiff. And if there is a scintilla of evidence that a reasonable juror could weigh, then the matter survives a motion to strike. In this matter, there is evidence in the case that a jury could weigh that the statements were made by the defendant, that the statements were about the plaintiff, that the statement was published, that the statement is false, the defendant made the statement knowing it to be false, or the defendant made it so recklessly as to amount to a willful disregard for the truth. The weight of that evidence is up to the fact finder. So the motion to strike is denied as to statement 2 and 3. The motion to strike as to statement 1, I'm going to take under advisement because if it's not a stipulation, I'm not sure what it is, but there seems to be an agreement that the tweet of Ms. Hurd is part of the plaintiff's evidence, which is not in evidence at this point. So I can't rule on that statement, whether or not it is just a tweet or if it's some sort of republication or something. I don't know because I haven't seen it yet. So as to the motion to strike on statement 1, I'm going to take an advisement because ruling on it now, it would be premature because I just don't have that evidence in the case.
Dude, they're fucking screwed, man. They are screwed.
Now it's time to walk away. I hope you enjoyed your stay. Did you laugh or cry or maybe subscribed? I'll thank you either way. You know I will miss you. I hope you return. Tell your friend or your mother to get me more views, please.